Hello students, welcome back. I hope you must be enjoying my lectures. So now in this session we will be discussing the various other important facts and properties of definite integration. Like you will get to know how does the integral of a function depend on its monotonicity. That is, if a function is monotonically increasing or monotonically decreasing, or if it is non-monotonic, then what is the property based on that. Finally, we shall also discuss the Wallis theorem, that is integral of 0 to pi by 2 sin nx cos mx dx is equal to n minus 1, n minus 3 so on 1 or 2 into m minus 1, m minus 3 so on 1 or 2 divided by m plus n minus 2 and so on 1 or 2. This 1 or 2 will depend on whether n and m are even or odd. This whole term is into k, where k is equal to pi by 2 if m and n are both even, or it is 1 otherwise. We shall also discuss various questions based on the application of these formulae. So let's begin. Okay, so now we'll be beginning with estimation of definite integral and general inequalities in integration. Actually, not all integrals can be evaluated using the methods that we have discussed so far. So we'll be discussing some more methods, like say we have certain important points, like here for a monotonic increasing function in AB, b minus a fx is less than integral a to b fx dx is less than b minus a fb. This is a monotonic increasing function in AB. This is x equal to a, x equal to b. This is the function. This is f at a, value of function at a and value of function at b. So if you have a monotonic increasing function in AB, then you can write it in this form, right? Similarly, we'll have a case for monotonic decreasing function in AB. For a monotonic decreasing function, you'll have fb into b minus a is less than integral a to b fx dx is less than b minus a f at a. Now see, this is a monotonic decreasing function, so this will be of this form. This is f at a and this is my f at b. Similarly, for a non-monotonic function in AB, f at c b minus a will be less than a to b fx dx is less than b minus a fb, where a and b are your limits, right? We have the interval ABC is a point lying in AB, and this is FC, FA, FB. This is a non-monotonic function. You can see it from the graph also. And similarly, this one important point to note here is that mod of integral a to b fx dx is less than equal to integral a to b mod of fx dx, and inequality holds when fx lies completely above the x-axis. See, these points can be a bit confusing, but yes, again we will be discussing questions based on these that will help you to understand these points as well as their application. Next, we have if hx is less than equal to fx is less than equal to gx for all x belongs to AB, then integral hx will be less than integral fx will be less than integral of gx dx. So let us discuss some examples. Now we have the first example that I have is show that 1 by 4 is less than equal to integral 0 to 1 dx by 1 plus x square plus 2x5 is less than equal to 1. First of all, what we will do is consider the following function. Consider the following function, that is, let me assume my fx to be 1 plus x square plus 2xy, where x belongs to 0, 1. Now, in the interval 0, 1, obviously we will be considering. So in the interval 0, 1, now you will see whether it is strictly increasing, decreasing, what is the nature of function. So fx is strictly decreasing. You can see in this interval 0, 1, if you calculate the value of, if you find out the nature of fx, you will get it as strictly decreasing. Now since fx is strictly decreasing, therefore f at 1 is less than equal to fx is less than equal to f at 0, and that is f at 1 now put x equal to 1 in fx, so I get 1 by 4 is less than equal to fx is less than equal to 1, right? And hence, using the point that we have just now discussed, we have 1 minus 0, this is 1 minus 0, 1 by 4 will be less than equal to integral 0 to 1 fx dx, and this will be less than equal to 1 minus 0, 1. That is 1 by 4 is less than equal to integral 0 to 1 fx dx is less than equal to 1, and this is the desired result. So this is how these points are going to prove useful, that we will first of all find out determine the nature of the function fx in a given interval. The limits were integral 0 to 1, so the interval is 0 to 1. You will try to figure out the nature of fx in this particular interval. Now, since I found out that the function fx was strictly decreasing in this particular interval, therefore I got this, and therefore once you have that the function is strictly decreasing in this interval, you have this following by the property, and therefore we get the desired result. Next is an important theorem, that is Wallis theorem, and Wallis theorem is important. It is extremely helpful in solving questions within seconds. It says 0 to pi by 2 sine nx cos mx dx is n minus 1, n minus 3, so on 1 or 2 into m minus 1 into m minus 1, m minus 3, so on 1 or 2 by m plus n minus 2, so on 1 or 2 into capital K, and where K will be pi by 2 if m and both are even and 1 otherwise. Once we discuss the application of this theorem, it will be quite simple for you, but yes, do remember this theorem. You should be well versed with this theorem. Okay, so now we will be discussing one of the example based on Wallis theorem, and you will get to know how exactly are you supposed to apply that theorem in the examples. So the question says evaluate integral 0 to 2 pi x sine 6x cos 4x dx. So I is 0 to 2 pi x sine 6x cos 4x dx. Using property 5, I can write my I as 0 to 2 pi a plus b minus x, that means 0 plus 2 pi minus x, that will become 2 pi minus x sine 6x cos 4x dx. So this basically implies I plus I is equal to 0 to 2 pi, and I will have 2 pi minus x plus x, so 2 pi sine 6x cos 4x dx. So this implies I is equal to, pi can be taken as common, 0 to 2 pi sine 6x cos 4x dx. Now in order to apply the Wallis theorem, I need the limits in the form of 0 to pi by 2, and for that I will be applying the property 6 twice, so that I can get the limits in the form of 0 to pi by 2, and that means I is equal to 4 times pi 0 to pi by 2 sine 6x cos 4x dx. Here you can see now n is 6, m is 4, n and m both are even, right, and therefore our k would be pi by 2, and therefore I is equal to 4 pi will remain as it is, then I will have n minus 1. So I have 5, 3, 1, and by the Wallis theorem. So and here m is 4, so I will have m minus 1, m minus 3, that means 3, 1 divided by m plus n, that is 10, then I will have 8, 6, 4, 2 into pi by 2. That means 4 pi, 5, 3, 1, 3, 1 and 10, 8, 6, 4, 2 into pi by 2. Ultimately, once you solve it, it will come out to be 3 pi square by 128. So this theorem is extremely important in the sense that it helps you read the solution quite easily within seconds, and therefore it is important for you to be well versed with this theorem. Next example, again based on this theorem, we have let In is integral 0 to 1 minus x raised to power a raised to n dx. Find the ratio In by In plus 1. In is 0 to 1, 1 minus x raised to the power a n dx. I n plus 1 would be 0 to 1, 1 minus x raised to the power a n plus 1 dx. Now I n plus 1, now we try to evaluate this integral, right? I can assume 1 to be my another function, and this will be my first function, 1 will be my second function. I will try to apply the integration formula. So I get it as x 1 minus x raised to the power a raised to n plus 1, 0 to 1, then it will become plus n plus 1 a plus n plus 1 a, and integral 0 to 1 x raised to the power a 1 minus x raised to the power a n dx. So this will become n plus 1, a can be taken as common. So 0 to 1, this is n plus 1 a, this will become 1 into 1 minus 1, 0, then again 0. So this term gets vanished and this term vanishes, and then we have n plus 1 a 0 to 1, x raised to a minus 1 plus 1, we can form it in this form, 1 minus x raised to power n a dx, then n plus 1 a 0 to 1, 1 minus x raised to the power a n dx minus n plus 1 a 0 to 1, 1 minus x raised to the power a n plus 1 dx. 1 minus n plus 1 a integral 0 to 1, 1 minus x raised to the power a n plus 1 dx. Now if you see this term integral 0 to 1, 1 minus x raised to the power a whole raised to n dx, this is in, minus we have n plus 1 a. Now integral 0 to 1, 1 minus x raised to the power a whole raised to the power n plus 1 dx is in plus 1. So this implies in is n plus 1 in minus n plus 1 a in plus 1. So ultimately what we get is, so this was in plus 1 is equal to this. So now I will collect the terms of in and in plus 1. So I will get it as 1 plus n plus 1 a is equal to n plus 1 a in. So this means we were supposed to find out the value of in by in plus 1. So in by in plus 1 would be equal to 1 plus n plus 1, 1 plus n plus 1 a by n plus 1 a. So this is ultimately equal to 1 by n plus 1 a plus 1. So in by in plus 1 is 1 by n plus 1 a plus 1. So this is how you are going to utilize these formulae. Well, I hope you must have understood the monotonicity of function, that is the properties based on monotonicity of a function, as well as the Wallis theorem. I would like to tell you here that the Wallis theorem is extremely important from your examination point of view, because you can expect questions based on this theorem, and it also helps you to reach the conclusion within seconds. So now in the next session we will be discussing the IIT JEE questions based on this, that is definite integration. So stay tuned.